Hey everyone, my name is Sean Cecil from the Oculus Institute, and today I'm going to teach you guys how to avoid getting trapped in a mental prison. Okay, so as you guys know, I love to talk to you guys about cognitive biases, about things that your mind will do to trick you, to prevent you from getting the career and the life that you want. And we've talked about a whole variety of stuff in past videos, but today I want to focus on something called unthinkability bias, because this is how people trap themselves within a mental prison. And when I say a mental prison, what I mean is that people will be in a position where they don't give themselves the ability to believe certain things. Even if those things are completely true, right? They have these walls set up where I'm not allowed to think past this point, right? And physically people, it's very easy to feel constrained. If you say, oh, I can't go past this point. If I told you you can't walk past that point, you'd be, well, why not? Screw you, I want to go past that point. But with their own minds, people will prevent themselves from thinking past certain points, right? Which is obviously very constraining, but if you can't see the bars of the prison, you don't necessarily know that you're in jail. The reason this came to mind is that I was having a discussion with somebody on Facebook, of all things, recently, and I had posted lessons I've learned on my wall, which I do pretty regularly, that you should always be open to examining any argument that anybody makes about any subject, as long as you haven't heard it before. I mean, obviously you don't want to waste mental energy having the same discussion you've had 100 times. That would be silly. And this particular individual was very vehemently against that. He said, I believe these things, and no matter what anybody says, I'm never going to change my mind. And I said, okay, so even if they say something that you've never heard before, even if they give you a new perspective and a fresh way to look at it, you're not even going to have the discussion. He said, absolutely not. And so what he's demonstrated is that anything that disagrees with his prior belief is unthinkable, right? It's unthinkability bias. He cannot think past that point. Now, if you knew that everything that, every unthinkable line that you drew was correct, there wouldn't be a problem with that. But the truth is, you're gonna draw some unthinkable lines that aren't correct. We're human, And especially when it comes to people's belief around what's possible, around what they can do, around the kinds of life that they can have, most people draw lines of what's unthinkable that are radically different from what's really true. So how do you get around this? How do you prevent yourself from getting trapped in this mental prison? For me, I have a simple principle, and that is nothing is unthinkable. There is absolutely nothing that I will refuse to consider in the light of logic. Even something where I've made up my mind about it previously, I've said, hey, listen, I believe this to be true. If somebody gives me new information or new perspective, I will examine that information as fresh, as new, right? It would have to outweigh all the information I had before, right? I'm not just gonna, throw out something that I have a lot of evidence for because somebody says something different, I'm gonna, add it into the pool and see what the result is, or, maybe refute it, but I'm gonna give it a shot, because that means that I'm always willing to venture on and think something and go past the unthinkable line, right? Now, obviously, for the sake of time and sanity, you don't wanna do this with stuff you've already heard. So, if somebody's telling you the same thing that somebody else told you, you've already had the discussion, you've already considered it in the light of logic, you already know where this is going, okay, sure. Then you might just want to say, okay, yeah, that's great, and go on your way. There's nothing wrong with that. But if you don't open your mind to the possibility, then you're going to construct those walls, right? And the consequences of that can be massive, right? Because when it comes time to make a decision about, say, what path you're going to take in your career, about whether or not you're going to start a business, about whether or not you're going to quit your job, if you have something that's unthinkable and the truth is on the other side of that unthinkability prison, then you're going to stay stuck, and then that's going to manifest in an external prison of a job that you hate, of a dream that's never started. And that's what you want to avoid. So open mind, healthy skepticism, but never come out and say, hey, listen, that's unthinkable. Because that is the key that locks you in. Before you go, I've got a free gift for you. So if you found this video valuable, if it helped you see the world in a new way, and you're interested in building a career that's going to bring you both personal fulfillment and financial prosperity, then I've got a free presentation for you to help you do just that. So if you go to the link below, it's www.oculusinstitute.com/workshop. That's www.oculusinstitute.com/workshop. Then it'll take you to a registration for a free presentation. It's about 50 minutes long, that's 50, and it's gonna give you the step-by-step process to building your dream career. See you there.